thank you for tuning in to my 2,844th edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar Carboni. Traders, you know this is a risky game. Risk, risk, risk. I mention it in every single video. It is my Christmas gift to you. Get this in your head. Put your stops in first before you ever enter into a long stock, short stock, long S&P, short S&P, ETF, crypto. Put the stop in first before you get into your trade. If there's nothing else I can offer you for Christmas as a holiday Christmas gift, that would be it. Please try to remember that. So what is going on out there? Well, I was going to just do a video where I was like, hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. I'll see you at the end of the holidays. But you know, I'm an avid reader. I'm an avid reader on the weekends. I read all the news I can get my hands on. And guess what? You're not getting away so easy in this video. I can't just do one of those, hey, goodbye, it's the end of the year. I've got to give you some food for thought for the coming year, trading 2025. So instead of this just being a hello, goodbye video, there's, two things that caught my interest in the reading of all the papers I did this weekend. One of them is an article about Bitcoin, which will be featured in tonight's video. The other is, or number two, is about the USA's dependence on China's rare earth material, or metals, I should say. They're really called minerals. So China has sort of a lock on rare earth minerals. And guess what? We are held captive to them because every time we make an EV car battery all the way down to a cell phone battery, we need those rare earth materials that we get from China to build those batteries. Well, guess what? From EVs to cell phones and everything in between, wait until you hear the article I'm about to read to you. So there's some stuff on the board we're going to get to in just a moment. I guess I have to get to number one first, and then we'll do the rest of this video. Number one on the board, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, a fantastic OMNI year, however, albeit a really horrible OMNI month for me. I've been a bad trader this month of December. I'm sorry, OMNIacs. I will make it up to you in January. I've just been bad this December. However, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. It's been a great year trading for OMNI. It had a wonderful year again this year. And I just wanted to get number one out of the way so I can tell you about these crazy things I read in the newspaper. Check this out. Food for thought for 2025. For this, it requires a pair of binoculars, and a set of binoculars I got to put on so I can see far away. Are we ready? Binocular time. They're on. They're off. They're on. Let's go. So, Wall Street Journal, one of the many papers I read over the weekend. This weekend, two articles really caught my attention. I will not read the whole article to you because I don't want to bore you to death, but I have to read some of it because, wow, is it pretty cool. It's called To Shake Our Reliance on Chinese Minerals, America Looks to Salt. This weekend, just past weekend's Wall Street Journal. Batteries that rely on sodium could create a new way to store energy. The U.S. and China are in high-stakes race with energy security of America and its allies are all hanging in the balance. So it says, I don't know why it would say that. It involves batteries made from the same sodium found in table salt. Breakthrough. In both countries, researchers and companies are working furiously to make the batteries that rely on very different starting material than lithium-ion batteries, currently powering everything from our cell phones to power grids. Such a battery could break China's near monopoly on crucial battery-making elements at a time when trade tensions with America and its electric storage needs are on a collision course. And I went, well, that's interesting. Let me keep reading this. I mean, this is good news. Instead of lithium, this Nansent battery tech uses sodium compound called soda ash, simple, right? Which can be produced by using table salt. Unlike lithium, sodium is easily accessible everywhere. Even better than that for the U.S. is that China must synthesize soda ash from salt while it is cheap and plentiful here in the United States. Get this stat. In fact, with 92% of the world's reserves of salt here in the United States. You might even say the U.S. is the Saudi Arabia of that stuff. Wow. So if they can get, now the batteries they're producing, they're a little bit bigger now than what we could make using what we're using at the moment. However, if this goes into play, and they're going to spend a lot of money on it, obviously, and we start getting those batteries a little smaller, we won't need anyone but the U.S. where we have all that salt to make our batteries. So, something to think about for next year if you're someone who trades or plays in the EV sector, or if you're doing anything with battery companies, you might want to look at that. What else is in this wonderful paper? Same section, by the way, a couple of pages after that. This one involves Bitcoin. So if there's anyone worried about Bitcoin, I think this may make you feel better. And here we go. So, Bitcoin's ETF success spurs copycats for smaller crypto. That's not really what this is about, but that would be the headline you'd look for. Bitcoin, well, let's start down here. I don't want to bore you with everything, so let me just mark out some of the excerpts. Everyday investors have piled into 12 new funds known as spot Bitcoin ETFs that allow them to purchase Bitcoin in their brokerage accounts as easily as stocks. The funds have attracted $36 billion of new money since that launch, while assets have swelled to $116 billion thanks to the rally in prices. Then it says BlackRock and Fidelity have emerged as early winners of the Bitcoin ETF race, with $56 billion in assets in Bitcoin alone. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust is the world's largest Bitcoin fund and the most successful ETF launch in the history in all of history based on inflows. At Fidelity and Wise Origin, Bitcoin ETF has swelled to become the company's largest ETF with $21 billion in assets. That's just a few of the ETFs that are now involved in Bitcoin. It's become mainstream. It's become Wall Street. I promise you, no matter what fluctuations it has, for now, it is here to stay. So we'll talk about Bitcoin in this video. Now, what is on the board? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We'll do that again at the end of the video. Number 2, is the Santa Claus rally about to commence? Well, I got an OMNI buy signal yesterday. It remains a buy signal today in E-mini S&P, in the Dow Jones Transportation Average. Let's see if we're about to get that Santa Claus rally, which most times tends to happen between the week of Christmas and New Year's. So let's see. Number 3 on the board. We will get back to the divergence issue in Jan of 2025, unless somehow that divergence starts to unwind in this next week or the last week of 2024. So in other words, I didn't forget about the big divergence between NASDAQ or the stock market and the transportation average. Right now, it's the last week of the year. No one's going to be in there trading to unwind that for us. So we didn't forget. We will get back to that divergence issue in Jan of 2025. Bitcoin looking sad on the daily charts. I'll show you that. So if you're going to trade in the next few days, Bitcoin never closes. If you're going to trade it, I'll show you. Looks a little bit sad there. And then there's OMNI at the end of January. OMNI will be held here. I haven't done an OMNI in Vegas in a long time. I've done them in London. I've done them in Florida. I've done them in New York upstate. But I haven't done one in Vegas. So there's one planned, and that is at the end of January. You've got to contact me. You've got to go to OMNIBootcamp.com and fill out those applications. Make sure you do that. What else can I ask you to do? I can ask you to like and share these videos, and please subscribe to them. And then I can ask you to watch the chart segment that we're about to do, because I think you're going to like that. So, before we get to the chart segment, you need to remember something. When you've got a trade on, that stop went in first. Remember what we first learned? First lesson in this video, stops in. Now, you get long the position, the stop's been already in, the market starts going towards that stop. You're not supposed to hit the keyboards and change things. You're not supposed to buy more in average. You're not supposed to move the stop. What you're supposed to do is, if you need to, get up away from that keyboard and say this to yourselves over and over again, because I know it will help you. Are you with me? 1, 2, 3. Stop, sir. emotions are rock and roll, traders. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'm sure I'll see you guys before then. For now, let's go look at some charts. Traders, the Dow Jones Transportation Average, if you recall last night's video, I told you right here, simultaneously with the transportation average hitting the 200-bar moving average, I got a buy signal in OMNI. Well, as it turns out, we did go up today, and that buy signal remains valid. Now, if you look back, each time we've gotten to this 200-bar moving average, that's the launching pad. The launching pad, we finally got back down there. That's called a repetitive pattern. I say we continue to believe that repetitive pattern is going to work until somehow it stops working. That's one of the cornerstones of accurate technical analysis, is being able to spot repetitive patterns and then being able to recognize when they're repeating and not go against them. So until this calls itself something different, I say we give it credit as a repetitive pattern. What else do we have out there? Now, longer term view, traders, I know I'm not going to get into next year's whatever's going to happen, but I do want to say this. If you're worried about the market moving lower in the last few days, just look. This is a weekly bar chart of the OMNI S&P. And, when I say slow and steady wins the race, could you ask for slower and steadier than this? Every now and then you wipe out some of the weak hands and you just keep slowly and steadily moving higher. And look at this average that holds it in check every single time. No matter how far back I go, it works the same way. We just bounced off that average. This is on a weekly now. So longer term, the markets look fine. Can they gyrate a bit? Absolutely. We called for 60, 55 on the year-end target. It hit here. Since it hit here, the markets have gyrated a bit. Well, that kind of makes sense because the target was hit. But longer term view, no matter what happens in the next few weeks, it looks fantastic as of now. So don't sweat it, long-term traders. Short-term, we're day traders. We take it day by day. So what else is on this panel here for tonight? Bitcoin traders. Now this one, unlike the other two I just showed you, which kind of look much better, Bitcoin for the moment for short-term day trading doesn't look so good. Why? Well, this formation here is known as a bullish F flag. It's an Oscarism, if you will. We call it the bullish F flag. One of the things we know about the bullish F flag is when it finally reaches the end of that flag, you get F'd. Which why we call it the F flag. So what means the market ends up going in the opposite direction of the flag, which is what you're seeing now. And we've got a major holiday right here. And on major holidays, if you look at Bitcoin tends to have a pullback in the beginning of holiday seasons on major holidays. So that sort of makes sense. Bitcoin does not control where the market goes, the S&P, that's for sure. So we'll look at these as two separate entities. Bitcoin doesn't look so pretty right now, where the S&P is a buyer of deep dips. Traders, I hope this video helps. I hope you have a great, great holiday weekend. I will see you next week, and we'll see where we stand for 2025.